Happy May Day. This is Flower Day in many parts of the states, some of the states. Little children knock on doors, run away, and leave flowers on the doorstep. And I love that custom. I love that a lot. And so, my dear ones, on this wonderful day, this May Day, you and I get to think about the Word, and the Word that you and I make flesh and have dwell amongst us every day of our lives. And we remember how important and how powerful it is to be tuned in and switched on in conscious awareness of the Word that we are. And I'm not talking about a word that we speak. I'm talking about the word that I am. I am the Word made flesh. Say it with me. I am the Word made flesh. Like you mean it. I am the Word made flesh. And that's the only reason why I'm in existence, is because God, for some crazy idea and some crazy moment of God's existence, God decided God wanted to know itself by means of me, by means of you. And that's an amazing thing to know, that you are loved, desired deeply into expression. You are the Word of Spirit made flesh for one reason alone, so God could know God's self and celebrate God's self by means of you and by means of me. Awesome! Awesome! Awesome. Now, how often do you remember that throughout your day, every day? How often do you know, look at me, I'm God in expression showing up to celebrate life and living, all of it, mine and everybody else's too. I am the breath of life, and so is everything and everyone else. The breath of life. And that breath of life is teeming with power and passion. Power and passion. And it's filled with light. Is that how you and I express the Word that spoke itself through you and me once upon a time, a long time ago, outside of time, outside of space, in the middle of every now moment, happening all over and over again, the spoken word by means of you, the spoken word of Spirit by means of me? Oh my God. Moira, slap yourself and wake up. And stop all the nonsense. And the drudgery and the dreariness and the aconing and the kvetching and the moaning and the groaning and the belly aching and the not enoughness. Whatever all of that is, nonsense is what it is. It's time for you and I to grow up. It's time for you and I to wake up. It's time for you and I to let all of the illusionary stuff go. And to know yourself as God knows you, as life knows you, as spirit knows you, as energy knows you, as power knows you, not as your ego does. God help us all if ego is in charge. God help us all. And ego is in charge. Just look out into the world. But it doesn't frighten me. Because every time in history it's been proven over and over again that good always triumphs over evil. Always, without exception. So one of these sweet days I will wake up, and so will you, and I will know myself as Spirit first knows me. And oh, my sweet Lord. For the first time, you and I will breathe the way we can. And when we breathe, we will breathe life into everything. We will fill everything with life. And life will return right back into us and breathe itself out again by means of you, by means of me. And I will have stopped identifying with my erroneous word, that which I think about myself and feel about myself, and listen to the ego telling me about myself will cease and be no more. And my ego will be this beautiful, wonderful thing that is safe, that is secure, that is poised, and is a friend. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you agree with that? Can you agree with that? Does that sound like the truth? Does that sound like a truth that could set you free? Yes. To celebrate life, to be all that you can be, to stand tall, energetic, powerfully, passionately, in the glory of the life that fills you, is you, as you. That's your option. How do we do it? We do it by understanding that in the beginning of the day is the Word. And the Word is God. And the Word is made flesh in and through and by means of me every single day of my life when I open my eyes into this life and living. That's my option. Why would I settle for less? On the other hand, there's the ego that wakes up and says, oh, good God, it's another day and I have that rotten meeting to face and those horrible people are out to get me and oh my gosh, this hip is killing me. Ego or truth? Which is it to be? Because one or the other is going to have its way with you and with me too. That's the choice. We are either justified, we are told, or condemned by our word. And our word is what we know. It's what we feel. It's what we agree to in our sense and sensibility. That's what our word is. It's not yada, 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 yada. The word lives itself, feels itself, expresses itself through my sense and sensibility, my conscious awareness every single moment of my life and living, and yours too. Stand still and know the power and the salvation of God, Josaphat was told. Josaphat. I don't think anybody's called that now because it's too much of a mouthful. Come in for your tea, Jehoshaphat. He was a good guy, but he had a lot to assimilate. In the face of his enemies, the army that had gathered, in the face of his enemies, overrun by his enemies, he was told, stand still and see the salvation of God. In other words, do nothing. What did he do? He sent his army out singing the praises of God, singing how God's mercy endures forever to meet the enemy. And when they got there, the enemy was all dead. They were dead as whatever. Because nothing really is ever dead, is it? So, you can kind of catch yourself out metaphysically in these. As dead as a doornail. They say, well, a doornail has energy. Well, anyway, that's a talk for another time. Was going into analysis there. Anyway, they arrived singing and praising God and so on, and there's the enemy all dead as can be. Now, the enemy there stands for circumstances, situations, negative conditions, and so on. So what are we told to do? We're told to bring to all of our conditions absolute faith and radical trust that the power and the presence of life that lives you, the word that you are, when speaking the word of truth, can die like a doornail. Everything in front of it can everything that is unlike the truth can zap it. In powerful trust and faith, singing the praises of God from a heart and a body and a soul and an allness that's full of gratitude, because it knows that when I take the word of living truth to the lie must quench itself, dissipate itself, dissolve itself, go away. Stand still, be still and know that I am God. Not the sky God, or any God that I might imagine outside of myself, but the Word made flesh that I am within me, God. Life. My favorite word for God is life. My other favorite word for God is spirit. But my favorite of all words for God is yummy. Yummy. Where are you? How are you? What's going on? This week we have to ask ourselves that question. Where am I with all of this? Am I still in my own isolated bubble of anxiety and fear and negativity and uncertainty and unrest and all of that? Is it not time to burst that bubble? Is it not time to burst the bubble and breathe deeply the energy above me, below me, around me, about me, and from within me? And let it be. Let it be my healing balm. I'm not even speaking. Punctuated by energy, even if it is electrical. Yes to the God I am. Say with me, the God I am. Again, the God I am. One more time like you know it. The God I am. There's an energy and a power in that. And it has nothing to do with your pridefulness or your uppityness or your superiorityness. It has to do with you knowing the truth that sets you free. My teeth aren't in very well today. I don't know what it is, but instead of Larry being up and my back, spirit is up and rising. Still Easter time in some parts of the world. Resurrection time, yeah, I know. That's the equivalent to Caesar going, thank you. He's turned me off. And he's given me a lollipop instead. When Caesar does that to a dog, he's churning up the psychological energy and changing it. Now, you and I need to do that to ourselves a lot of the time throughout the day. Or something similar. Come up with your own little thing. That may be a bit too public. At least you bring a smile to someone's face. Where are you? Where are you? Come back. Where are you? What's going on in your mind? And what is it creating in your life as a result? Because your word is the creator of your life's experiences. Your word is the creator of your life's experiences. What are you creating? Are you happy with what you're creating? Are you satisfied with that? Is there room for improvement? Stand still and know the salvation of God. Be still and know that I am God. In other words, simply put, shut up and listen. 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 It's in listening that we learn. If you and I are talking all the time, we're learning nothing. And maybe nobody else is either. Be still and know. To be still and know is to enter into the interior world as we extrapolate ourselves from the exterior world, as Troward would tell us, but in more highfalutin words. Here's the thing. You have the power. You are empowered. What are you doing with it? Are you asleep to it? Now, are you so in love with your ego that at all costs you're going to hang on to it and you'll never let it go? My ego and I. My ego and I, we have this kind of what? Codependent relationship? The ego is the 4-year-old rascal that sabotages everything because it's always scared, always frightened, always afraid. It has to be in control. I'll tell you how to become very holy and how to become sainted. Gain emotional control. Gain emotional control, and you will be poised. And in your poise, you will be awesomely powerful. In your quietude, in your standing still, in your poise, you will be awesomely powerful, and nothing will touch you. Nothing will touch you. They may come at you on your left-hand side, on your right-hand side, and you will stand tall, sovereign, safe, and secure in the power, in the presence of the poise of the greatness that lives you. Because you're connected, you're unified, you're congruent with it. You're not separate from it anymore. And to think it makes it so. If I think I'm separate, I'm separate. If I think I'm a success, I am. If I think I'm a failure, I am. Because life will agree with my word. What I know is and happens. If I know it, if I think it, if I agree with it, if I declare it, if I feel it, it is so. That's how awesomely powerful the word is. And the word is your thinking and your feeling and your feeling and your thinking, which produces your behavior. And your behavior then decides on what kind of a life you're living. You are so awesome, beyond awesome. You are downright rock and roll, as I said this morning. Rock and roll. We don't rock and roll enough. That's the problem. Yeah. That's how our energy is most of the time. Would you like to? Would you like? Oh, I'm too tired. Would you like to? Oh, I have to. Would you like to? Oh, I'm not as young as I used to be. I don't do that anymore. Oh, for God's sakes. You know what? We should have somebody recording us and videotaping us for a whole week. And then we forced to sit down and look at it. And then recalculate or maybe recalibrate ourselves. Now, is your life a funeral march or is it a marching band? It's up to you. It's up to you. I used to love the Sousa marches when I was a kid. Da 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 da. I don't know what was in my coffee this morning. Oh, I do. I didn't have coffee. I had tea. I have no idea where all of this is coming from, but it's coming. Maybe I thought it was at the comedy club or something. I don't know. Maybe that because I was dreaming about it last night. That's what it is. Anyway, is your life a divine comedy or is it a grand tragedy? So a 4-year-old said to me when I was taking care of them, I was babysitting 4-year-olds, twins, and we were watching something on television. It was on when I went in, and one of them looks at me, Patricia, 4 years, and says, "Sister Miriam, is this a comedy or a tragedy?" And I thought, well, I don't know whether watching you two is a comedy or a tragedy, and I'm still trying to make up my mind. So is your life a comedy or a tragedy? Or a cross between the two? Well, I hope it's 51% of the time comedy. Because laughter is the best medicine, we are told. It's scriptural. Laughter is the best medicine. How often do you laugh? And how often do you cause others to laugh? The best gift you could give somebody is to have them laugh in your presence. And you yourself, nothing like a good old chuckle to raise the energy and endorphins and all of that to make us feel a little bit alive, a little bit healthy, a little bit, hey, maybe life is not so bad after all. Maybe life is not so bad after all. And above all else, learn to laugh with and at yourself. With and at yourself is the best way to laugh. Now, when it comes to speaking and so on, my mother always used to say, and I love sharing this with you, those who speak by the inch and think, or sorry, those who speak by the yard and think by the inch should be moved by the foot. And it took us a while to figure that out when we were 4. And she'd say it very solemnly. And sometimes she'd say things like, child, don't open your mouth unless you're sure that what you're about to say is more beautiful than silence. I've given you your chance. That was when we were about to tell a lie. Did you notice how you can never lie to your mother? Because she always knows. But that doesn't stop us from trying. Silence is golden, my dear ones. I'm learning that more and more and more and more. I don't get myself into trouble when I keep my mouth shut. But I very often do when I don't. Have you noticed that? So for this week, what all of us are called to is introspection, reflection, and the appreciation that I am the Word made flesh, and I am a unique Word made flesh. And nobody can be the Word that I am, and nobody can share the Word that I am if I don't. Nobody can live the Word that I am if I don't. Nobody can give spirit life expression through the Word that I am if I don't. What am I allowing Spirit to express through me every day of my life? It all begins in the morning, so the invitation is set your sails in the morning, set your direction in the morning, establish your intention in the morning. Know how the day is going to unfold before you get out of the bed. Declare it and know it. Declare it and know it. Today I will go forward into life to celebrate life, and life will rise up in me as a celebration of itself today. Today I celebrate the truth of my being and the Word that I am made flesh. Today is all about celebration, and I will celebrate life today by being the best that I can be today. I will make a contribution today, and life will be raised and life will be praised by means of me today. This is it. This is my turning point, and I will establish now for the rest of my days who and what I am today. Today I am the Word made flesh, and the Word is good, and the Word is very good, and the Word makes the difference. Are we with this? Yes. Are we on for this? Yes. Are we willing to say yes to this? Yes. So it is.